Good evening and welcome back to Etown News. I'm Rosena Campana.
And I'm Lexi Benninger. Spring a cappella shows, Food for Fines program, and more coming up after this.
Whether you're on the go or taking a break, the Etownian has you covered. Pick up a paper on campus or read online at etownian.com.
It's a busy weekend for the a cappella groups on campus. Vocaline kicks off the action tonight with their spring show in the cave at 7. They'll be performing their full set list for the year for their final performance. On Saturday, Phalanx will take the stage at 4 p.m. in the cave for their final show of the year. Melica will conclude the weekend with their spring senior show in the cave at 7 on Saturday night. Tickets are $5 for students and $7 for general admission.
The Spring Mars Snacking Lecture Series is coming to an end with a final exciting guest speaker. Etown alum Nico Antonellos will close out the Spring Lecture Series today at 11 p.m. in Hoover 212. Antonellos is the founder and CEO of Sidekick Services. The program provides individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities and their families with support services. Antonellos will discuss his career journey and share helpful advice for aspiring entrepreneurs. The event is free and open to the public.
Do you have unpaid parking tickets from campus security? If so, you can pay them off with some generosity. Food for Fines is back, and you can pay off up to 2 $25 fines by donating items like ramen, pasta, oatmeal, and hygienic products. You can fill out the paperwork with campus safety and leave your donations at their bins. This runs through April 13th. To see the full list of eligible products, visit the Center for Civic Engagement's Instagram.
A group of lucky Etown students will have an opportunity to explore the heart of the state capitol and make a lasting impact on campus. Join the Office of Financial Aid and Center of Community and Civic Engagement on a day trip to the state capitol. Students will have the chance to meet with local legislators and advocate for school funding and student experience on Etown's behalf. The day's event will run from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Transportation and a meal voucher will be provided. Interested students should email Assistant Director of Financial Aid, Lindsay Barton. Her contact information can be found at the link below. Now here's Ava Deeter with your weekly sports update.
Thanks, Lexi. The men's volleyball season came to a close on Tuesday. Despite the 3-1 loss against Rutgers Newark, the team had plenty to be proud of. Sophomore Aaron Gabbie led the team with 8 kills, followed by sophomore Braden Ambrose with 6. Etown was able to pull out a 26-24 win in the first set, but lost the last 3. The Blue Jays ended the season at 18-13, which is the most wins in program history. This was also the team's first ever CBC tournament appearance. Etown's softball team has had a great season so far. The team is currently 14-9 after their win and loss against Lebanon Valley on Monday. The Blue Jays scored in every inning of the first game, holding LBC to 0 until the 5th. LBC scored 1 and then had a productive top of the 6th, bringing in 5 runs to tie it. Sophomore Izzy Kalalitis quickly answered with a solo home run, bringing the final score to 7-6 Blue Jays. Junior Hannah Long also had a great game, crossing home plate 3 times for Etown. The second game of the day was far less eventful, with LBC holding out for a 1-0 win. Cheer on the softball team on Saturday against Juniata. The baseball team is having an equally impressive season, sitting at 17-8 after Monday's game. The Jays took home a big win against Penn State Harrisburg 9-2. The game saw 4 Blue Jay home runs, Alex McLean and AJ Lipscomb each with 1, and David Woolley with 2. Woolley went home with an impressive 4 RBIs, the most on the team. Etown's baseball team will also face Juniata on Saturday. It was senior day for women's lacrosse on Friday. The Blue Jays nabbed a 15-11 win on Wolf Field to commemorate the occasion. The team outscored Lycoming in the first 3 quarters and held on in the last. Sophomore Haley Meyer sent the ball to the back of the net 5 times for her team, followed by Ella Scholes, who scored 3 times. Women's lacrosse will face Wilkes on Saturday. The men's lacrosse team absolutely dominated on Friday against Lycoming. The Warriors never got a point on the board, while the Blue Jays racked up 24 of them. It was a team effort with 10 different players contributing to the score. Reese Levinson led with 6, closely followed by Jay Rodriguez and Tristan Coleman with 4 each. Etown's win could have been even bigger, but Lycoming's goalie made an impressive 20 saves. The men's team also faces Wilkes on Saturday. Women's track and field had a successful showing at York's Twilight Meet last week, placing third out of 13 teams. Sophomore Isabella Cowger continues to dominate, breaking her school and conference record in the discus and setting a new one in shot put. She also won hammer throw with a distance that moves her from 5th to 2nd all time. Other impressive Blue Jay performances are Kaylee Bold's time of 57.47 in the 400, which won her the event and put her in 2nd all time. The 4x400 relay team also placed first. The men's team placed third as well with a couple wins. Joseph Book's time of 53.45 won him the 400-meter hurdles and moved him from 5th to 2nd all time. Will Inglis ran 1:53.14 to win the 800, and Derek Kendig ran 14:56.86 to place first in the 5K. March Madness wrapped up with Final Four and championship games over the weekend. For the women, South Carolina snapped UConn's 54-game streak to move on to the championship game. UCLA beat Texas to earn their way into the championship. In the final on Sunday, UCLA came out on fire and never relented. They earned a 79-51 victory over South Carolina for their first women's NCAA championship in program history. For the men, Illinois battled hard against UConn, almost closing the gap in the final minutes of play. The Huskies held out, though, and made their way into the championship game. Michigan started off strong and only pulled away further from Arizona in the second half. They firmly earned their way into Monday's game. In the final, Michigan continued what is considered one of the most dominant NCAA tournament runs in modern history. While their shooting percentage was down, the Wolverines' defense proved too much for UConn. Michigan took home its first title since 1989 with a 69-63 win. That's all for sports this week. Now over to Eric Rodriguez Jr. with the weather.
Thanks, Ava. I'm Aaron J. Girvan filling in for Eric this week. Well, Jays, spring may have finally sprung a few weeks ago, but the warm spring temperatures are finally here to stay. Expect highs in the low 70s for most of the week. Today, Friday the 10th, will be a mostly sunny day with a high of 72 and a low 49. Saturday will be partly cloudy with a high of 75 and a low of 52. Temps will get even higher on Sunday with a high of 77 and a low of 58. Monday calls for scattered showers with a high of 76 and a low of 56. Now the rain will break on Tuesday, accompanied by a high of 74 and a low of 56. Wednesday will be cloudy once more with a high of 71 and a low of 53. And finally, Thursday calls for a slightly cooler day with early morning showers. Expect a high of 65 and a low of 50. That's all for this week's Weather Watch. I'm Aaron J. Girvan. Now back to Rosena and Lexi in the studio.
As the iconic cherry blossom trees begin to bloom in Tokyo yet again, officials worry that they could pose a huge risk to public safety. Many of the popular trees are reaching nearly 70 years old and are beginning to show signs of age. Last season, nearly 90 cherry blossom trees fell, injuring 3 people and causing damage to public parks. So far, 3 fallen trees have been reported, but there have been no major injuries. City officials are advising tourists to keep their distance and avoid gathering under the trees. Tension continues to grow in the U.S.-Iranian conflict after a U.S. service member was rescued from enemy territory. The airman's plane crashed behind enemy lines last Friday, and he was rescued on Sunday after an intense search. According to President Donald Trump, the man was seriously wounded and was found deep inside the mountains of Iran. Trump issued a series of explicit threats to escalate strikes if Iran does not reopen the Strait of Hormuz by his deadline early next week. Iran remains defiant as they increase strikes in neighboring countries. Popular news anchor Savannah Guthrie made her return to the Today Show last Monday as the search for her missing mother continues. Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy, was last seen over 2 months ago after being reported missing from her home in Arizona. The case has gained massive media attention, and authorities are continuing to follow credible leads, including a ransom note verified to be real. Guthrie's return was highly anticipated, garnering record-breaking views. She thanked Today Show viewers for their support throughout the ongoing investigation.
After being shot at a casino on Monday night, Offset is reportedly in stable condition and recovering in the hospital. The rapper was involved in an altercation with 2 other men that currently have no fatalities. Offset is best known for his time as a member of the group Migos. The group disbanded shortly after the death of another member, Takeoff. Offset is also the father of 3 children with Cardi B. As of now, she has not made any comments regarding the incident. After months of speculation, Kim Kardashian made her new relationship Instagram official. Fans have assumed she was dating F1 driver Lewis Hamilton after many public sightings together. They've been on trips to Europe, Japan, Utah, and the Super Bowl. He posted a reel this past weekend that showed Kardashian in the passenger seat of his car. According to a source close to the family, the relationship is moving fast and is very intense. Kim has been married 3 times prior and shares 4 children with Kanye West. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is now #1 at the box office following its opening weekend. It grossed over $100 million in America and is already approaching $400 worldwide. The film is a sequel to the Super Mario movie that came out in 2023. It follows Mario and Luigi back in action taking on Bowser Jr., who is trying to free his father. It stars Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, Keegan Donald Glover, and Anya Taylor-Joy. That's all for this week, Jays. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at ECTV40 for all the latest updates on our show. I'm Lexi Benninger.
And I'm Rosena Campana. Have a great week, and remember to
Take flight, Etown!